my edges were not happy, and so I started losing them. They started chucking up the deuces. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drusilla Shay, if you don't know already. And today I am going to be doing a requested video, which is how I grew my hair longer. This video is not just going to be about how to grow hair longer, but how to grow healthy hair, because you can always have hair growth, but you want it to be the right hair growth, the hair growth that you can hold on to, that you don't necessarily have to chop off every time. So that's what we're going to be discussing today. Now, these are the tips that worked for me, and for those who may have come here with the intent on gathering some product suggestions. To be honest, I will not be sharing product suggestions today, because there is not one or two products that works for everyone and causes everyone's hair to grow. It really depends on the person, it depends on the hair type, it depends on so many things. And so what I really will be talking to you about today are habits and practices that you can be doing to grow your hair. Let's get right into it. For those of you who have been following me for some time, you did realize that my hair has grown over the years, and especially between 2019, which is last year, and this year 2020, I have seen a lot of hair growth. I have this conception in my head that my hair can only grow to a certain point. And I'll tell you guys what really made a difference. Last year, I became a Shay ambassador, which means that I was an ambassador for the Shay Moisture brand. So they were sending me products left and right to try out and review. And so it did work to my benefit, because that was the most that I've ever taken care of my hair. I was shampooing, I was conditioning, I was deep conditioning for the sake of trying out the products and reviewing them. But at the same time, I was taking care of my hair. And so it really did work out, and I was just like, wow, all it took was me actually taking care of my hair for it to grow. It's not necessarily always about the products. The products are about like 50% of the equation, but the other half really has to do with your practices and habits. So let's get right into that. Maintenance is so important. Personally speaking, I can easily let my hair go, especially if I've washed it and I've braided it. I put it under a bonnet. I can let it go for a long period of time, let it dry out, and just kind of like not take care of it and not pay attention to it. And I know that a lot of us like that convenience, but it's so important to actually upkeep your hair. And it's not only when it comes to moisturizing, it also comes with trimming, it also comes with all these things, which I'm going to talk to you about. But maintenance is a big thing that a lot of us fall short with, and that is why we are not seeing growth. We need consistency. What does it mean to listen to the hair and scalp, right? Because it really do be talking. Think about it like this. You listen to your body. If you have a dry mouth, it's saying that like, I'm parched and I need some water. And so we drink the water. So it's like sending us signals so that we can do certain things for the well-being of our body. Now, when it comes to our hair and our scalp, it does the same exact thing. When it's drying out, like you can feel it. It's crispy, okay? It's not feeling really moisturized. It's saying,
okay, I need some moisture, sis.
And when you have split ends, it's telling you like,
it's time for a trim.
All of these things are really important. We have to learn how to all pay attention to our hair if we want to actually grow out healthy hair. It's so important to constantly moisturize your hair. That might look different for different hair types. So if you have really loose curls, or you have like wavy hair or straight hair, your way of moisturizing may not be the same as someone who has really tight curls. So for me, I have type 4 hair, and I need moisture. And when I say moisture, it's not just products that I need water. Water is really important for my hair type. Even if I have to take a spray bottle of water before I add the product, or mix in water and product together, my hair thrives off of water. So as long as my hair is not straight, and as long as my hair is not in a protective style, I constantly have to moisturize it with water and product. And that's technically what I was doing when I was a Shay ambassador. I was constantly using water, doing wash and goes. Like I was always tending to my hair and adding that moisture that it needed. And so gone are the days that I just let my hair go dry and parched for weeks. I know I'm a really busy girl, but that's no excuse. I can definitely make time for my hair. If you need to set up a schedule, definitely do a hair schedule because it'll help you to maintain that constant moisturizing of your hair. Something else that really helped my hair grow was not waiting too long to get a trim. So in 2019, which was last year, my ends were bad. So my hair had grown out, but my ends were so bad that length didn't mean anything because I had to chop off my hair anyway. And so that's what I mean by like growing healthy hair. You can still grow hair, but it can grow all types of ways. It can grow sideways, okay? And so I had an awakening when it was time for me to get that trim because I saw the real state of my hair because it was straightened and it was just bad. Child, I hadn't gotten a trim for like definitely at least a year. It was a hot minute. And so that's why my ends looked as crazy and uneven and puffy and dead as they did. Ever since then, I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep up with my trims at home. I may not always be able to go to the salon, and so every about 5-ish months on average, I would like twist up my hair and trim it, twist up my hair and trim it. I would just make sure that I looked at my ends first to see how they were growing. If they started getting all those knots and started getting split and stuff, that's when I would trim it. So for me, that would be about every 5 months, but that's not like the case for every single person. I would just recommend if you're gonna trim your hair at home, pay attention to how it's growing out, pay attention to the ends. If it starts splitting or starts getting puffy and stuff like that, just start chopping it off. So that's what I did. I stayed consistent at home. So by the time my next salon appointment came around, guys, the stylist barely had to cut anything off. Like, she was like, no, your ends actually don't look bad like last time. Like, they're pretty fine. And I was just like, wow, I was impressed. That is when I realized also that my hair had grown like crazy. But just all to say that trimming at home and not waiting too long to get a trim helped for my hair to grow healthy so that the next time I got a trim, I wasn't chopping off like inches off of my ends. Now, the next thing that has really helped me to grow my hair is being gentle with my scalp and my hair. Now, this entails a lot of things, and you might not think that these things are important, but honestly, it be the little things, okay? Be the small things that make the biggest difference. When you're combing your hair, I beg, do not comb from the root to the tip, okay? Take it slow from the tip to the root. It's important to make sure that you sleep with the bonnet on. Like, our hair goes through a lot when we're sleeping and there's nothing covering our head, because especially if you have a cotton pillowcase or some type of other material that isn't a silk or satin fabric, it's pulling at our hair. And something else that's really important when it comes to being gentle with your hair is not manipulating it too much in a short period of time. I've experienced this before and my edges were struggling as a result, okay? My edges wanted to exit stage left, and I was like, come back. Pretty much at some point I was getting real lazy with my hair and I just kept putting it in this pony puff, constantly brushing my hair every day, gel, brush, gel, brush. It's continuously tugging at my hair and my edges were not happy, and so I started losing them. They started chucking up the deuces. That's an example of not constantly manipulating your hair. Like, sometimes your hair gotta rest. And also, not constantly manipulating your hair can mean not doing too many protective styles back to back. I would definitely recommend letting your hair breathe in between hairstyles, because just like us, our hair needs to rest. Oh, and also, try not to scratch your scalp too much. Like, don't really scratch it with your nails like that. I know that seems like a little thing, but trust me, your scalp is actually like skin. And when you're constantly like scratching it with your nails, especially if it's a dry scalp, you will like make cuts in your scalp. And I knew this girl, she would constantly scratch her scalp and it would bleed. If you need to scratch, what I do is I'll use like this part of my finger and I'll either do this or I'll pat. So something else that I've incorporated that I feel has definitely been helping me, because I only really started doing it within the last 2 years, is massaging my scalp. I do that when I'm deep conditioning a lot, or if I'm doing a hot oil treatment. Because I'm already letting it sit in my hair, I just take the time and just massage. By the way, it feels good. It feels great, okay? So why not do it? It stimulates the scalp and that definitely leads to hair growth. You have to do your own research when it comes to products. What works for one person is not always going to work for you. So even if someone has your similar hair type, let's say we have the same hair type, a product can work for me and not work for you. A product can work for you and absolutely not work for me. And so there's no secret answer like, oh my goodness, if it works for this person who has my hair type, it's gonna work for me. Sometimes that will definitely be the case, but that's not going to be the case all the time. And so I would definitely recommend doing your own research when it comes to ingredients. There are also some ingredients that just don't work well with people's hair. Like, what ingredients are good for your hair and what ingredients does your hair respond to when you actually try them. Now, I know that most people do not prefer to become product junkies, but the fact of the matter is we might just be product junkies at one point in our hair journey, because it's so important to try things out for yourself. Now, I've said this in a couple other videos and I'll say again because I think that it will definitely help. If you want to try out a product, my recommendation is if they have a travel size bottle or a sample size, get that first. Like, don't jump and get the biggest bottle if you don't have to, because if it doesn't work for you, you just gonna have a bottle sitting there, which I have a couple. Or if you have a friend or a family member that has those products and are willing to share some with you, do that instead of like going out and buying a product. My tidbit would be, do not leave your hair in a protective style for too long. It's gonna get to a point where there's so much product buildup and the products are not actually gonna be penetrating your hair. Like, it's just gonna be sitting on top of your hair, so it's not gonna be doing anything. And then same for your scalp. And it's so important to throw away the mindset that once hair is in a protective style, like, you don't have to do anything to it. That is simply not true. When your hair is in a protective style, it definitely is convenient and you don't have to do much to it in terms of styling, but you do still have to actually moisturize it, care for it, make sure that you're covering it before bed. Protective styles are there to protect your hair, but if you leave it in that long and if you don't take care of it for that long, you'll actually be doing damage to your hair. There are people who have taken out protective styles and they actually end up losing a lot more hair and having a lot more breakage and damage. And so the thing that was intended to be a good thing actually ended up having a negative effect. The last thing that I would say, and I would really, really, really push for, because it's so essential to all of these tips, is to not get lazy with caring for your hair. I'm guilty of being super lazy with my hair, like especially before I was a Shay ambassador. I was not really taking care of my hair as much. It requires way more work, time, effort. Girl, my hands be killing me, okay? But if you really, really want some hair growth, you cannot be lazy. There are certain things that may make your routine a little bit easier, but at the end of the day, you really can't always skip the work. So guys, these are all my tips for now. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave it down below in the comments box. Let's make this a conversation. I want to know, has your hair really been growing based off of any of these habits or practices? Do you plan on using or incorporating any of these practices? Also, if you have any tips on how you can grow your hair that I did not mention here, please go ahead and leave it down below. And with that being said, help your girl out by subscribing and turning on your bell notifications so that anytime I post, you'll be up to date. And with that being said, I will catch you all in my next video. Be blessed. Bye.